Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Hopefully I'm coming through. All right, everyone. Sorry for running just a few minutes late. Hopefully it's not too much of a problem. All right, let's get this show on the road. I hope everybody's had a great week. Let me clear my throat real quick. Hold on. All right, hopefully I'm a little bit clearer now. Been a little bit polleny out here. All right, so let me, I got a poll tonight, by the way. First of all, before I introduce myself and say hi to everybody, poll in the chat, be sure to check that out. I am the host of the show, Dr. Phil. I am not a real doctor. But I am a real doctor. Let me put on the disclaimer. All right. Well, let me turn off the music and everything. All right, let me get this set up here. All right, music off. Now let me welcome everybody in. Let's see who we got in today. Oh, and Doris Hayden in early tonight. Hopefully she will be back. All right, yes, indeed. Nutty, welcome in early. Doctor will be ready shortly. Please hit that like and take a seat and get ready for the awesomeness. Thank y'all. Oh, Nutty, you're too kind. Yeah, I appreciate it. Dot with an answer to the poll. Dot adding another one in. I can only have 4 possible answers. So if anybody has an other, feel free to type it in the chat. My poll question is, since this is in reference, Glitter and Lasers Anna will get the surgery. She hasn't, but she may have said it since last week. I've watched some of her material. She hasn't said exactly what kind of surgery she's getting, but it's to reduce her size. So either liposuction or weight loss surgery. And I've got 4 possible choices up there. I'm going to get to those in a minute. Dot is offering the suggestion that she will gain all the weight back. It's very possible. I think a lot of people want an easy way out, to be fair, but I think Ed is one of them. I'll concede that. Yes, welcome in, Dot. Welcome in, Nutty. Hey, who's this punk? Hey, get out of here, impersonator. Oh, wait a minute. No, okay, never mind. Welcome in, Cavs. Mr. Oh my, the doc is here. Turn your head and he's got one coming by surprise. If Foodie takes off the chin stick, she looked like No Neck Big Ed. I think it's her spirit animal. No worries. All right, Hippieista, welcome in. Welcome in. Homemade chocolate chip cookies. You know what, Hippieista? I'm gonna be honest with everybody. I haven't lost any weight this week. I've been holding steady, thankfully, but I don't know how I did it. Hey, Capricorn to NJ, New Jersey, I'm assuming. We can hear you. Fantastic. Freedom Deep, welcome in. Good to see you again. 37 years tomorrow, Hippieista. Happy anniversary to Mr. Hippieista and anyone else in the Hippieista crew. Because that is impressive, 37 years. Happy anniversary to Hippieista. Anybody wants to throw a heart or anything in the chat, some smileys. Let me see if I can put one in here real quick. Here we go. For Hippieista, happy anniversary. Mouse Toes, welcome in. Welcome in. Not a fan of Big Ed? Yes, indeed. I always enjoy a snack. Welcome in, Purple Lilacs. Welcome to the Dr. Phil Show. Is there a doctor in the house? We got a fake doctor. Let me put on my disclaimer. It's a perfect reminder. I am not a real doctor. I'm really a fake doctor, but I'm not really a real doctor. If you think you need a real doctor, please go get one. If you have an emergency, call 911. This goes for you, Foodie, if you're watching. This goes for you, Anna, if you're watching. Although I think you're already at a doctor's office right now getting the surgery, recovering from it at least. And pardon me, I've got a bit of a sniffle today. I think it's just from too much pollen or something. Yes, indeed. Welcome in, Willie. Good to have you tonight. Oh, I love that bird. That is such a cool looking bird. Is that a crane or a stork? That's a cool looking animal right there. Welcome in, Nancy. Good to see you again. Indeed. Mr. Hippieista must be a heck of a guy though, right? Yes, welcome in, Nancy. Okay, so let's get started for the night. We've got a whole bunch going on. First off, where's Foodie? Has anybody seen Foodie lately? I was in Skinny Queen's chat earlier, and we were watching some recent Foodie videos. So I actually have a little bit of Foodie coverage tonight. Nothing too revolutionary, but we're going to be delving into also Anna, because I covered her last week, but I really want to get a little bit more in depth. I'm not going to watch the whole video again or anything like that, but I just want to go back over the subject because I have a lot I want to add after taking a week to really digest it. I also want to make a public correction of myself. An error. Last week, I confused lipedema with lipoma. A lipoma is a benign tumor. I looked all this up, so hopefully I remember it and get it right. A lipoma is a benign tumor that is composed primarily of fat. Lipedema is a syndrome where the body stores excess fat in specific areas, depending on the type of lipedema, and it's a syndrome which is a collection of symptoms. One of the symptoms of lipedema is having a lot of lipomas. So I wasn't totally wrong. I was just technically wrong, I guess. So I'm half defending myself. I'm half saying I got it wrong, but I'm half saying at least I was on the right track. Okay, so now that we got that technical discussion out of the way, there, Alizu with the putting it in terms I hope everybody can understand it. Lipoma are squishy tumors. Indeed, they are, but they are benign. They're not they're not cancerous or anything like that. Okay, saw foodie at McDonald's. If you really did, I hope you took a picture. They look like yellow squish balls. Well, I have not seen one above the skin, but yes. Anyway, so we're gonna get into more of that later. Need a break from all the blubbering. from Anna's blubbering or Foodie's blubbering, because they both do a little bit of blubbering. Okay, so let's do a little bit of foodie watching, because I have some clips here, some videos from Marley Hendrix, who's absolutely awesome with the edits. Let me pull up the video here. Because Foodie recently did this whole big video about how she's not binging. This is the subject of the videos now. Okay. And this is why I love Marley Hendrix. Marley Hendrix did a whole analysis, cutting up Foodie's video and then splicing together some old videos with receipts. So let me put a link to Marley's video in the chat. Get in there. All right. Here's a link to the video I'm using. So if anybody wants to watch the original without me talking all over it, I always want to make sure I give that to people. I don't want to, okay. So let's let this play a little bit. All right, and this is playing a little bit quickly because it's sped up and Marley sped it up. So I might actually slow it down just a little bit, just a tiny bit, not much, but just enough so it doesn't sound quite so fast. Oh, I got to share the video. Hold on a second. I didn't share it. Sorry, folks. There we go.
Actors and critics and haters that orbit myself are dumber, more ignorant, and more petty than most. They're not normal reactors. They're not normal T channels because they create T when there is none. But there is something that I see going around that I just want to correct and school people on, because there's a lot of ignorance when it comes to eating disorders. So I want to first say that.
Let me refresh everybody, give you an intro. So this is the video I got here tonight from Foodie. This is a video from Marley Hendrix. I posted a link in the chat. Marley does great edits on Foodie's vids. If you don't want to watch the whole full Foodie vid, you just want to get a quicker, faster version of it, I think this is a great place to go. So anyway, Foodie recently put up some videos. And oh, yes, and also, where's Foodie? I asked that question. Foodie has not been uploading for a couple days now. Skinny and I both think that she might be traveling, might be doing a visa run. I think we might do a poll on that later too. But she has not been uploading anything. She's been uploading some pre-recorded videos primarily. And the two main videos that she uploaded that I thought were interesting is the one where she talked about how she's not binging on camera, and anybody who thinks she's binging is wrong, and she's going to explain why. And the other one where she said she's tired of putting in effort in her channel. It shows. It really does. Okay, so let me catch up on a few comments, then we're going to finally get the video going. Fallen Angel, thank you for your comment. I think you're making a good point. Fallen Angel mentions here Glitter's alcohol consumption concerns her. Yeah, I've heard that a lot. Miss FW, Miss Effing Wonderful, she's somebody that happened to. She started, or she already drank, from my understanding, back when she was heavier, and then she got the surgery, and she began to drink very heavily. There's a few people that's happened to, and not just alcohol, but who knows? Anything's possible, and I certainly hope it doesn't happen. But I just feel like Glitter hasn't really done the work of addressing her issues. I think that's something I'm going to say. I can't diagnose anybody because I'm not a real doctor, and even if I was, I couldn't diagnose somebody just by watching a video. But in my opinion, I feel like Glitter has not really addressed her real issues with food, possibly with drink as well. No amount of surgery is going to fix that. And yes, I do want to say also, make it clear, I have sympathy for people who struggle with lipedema. It's not a fun thing to have. To put it in simple terms, this is basically the simplest way I can describe it. It's you have like it's like you have like one really bad area where you store a lot of fat. Like some people might have like a ton of fat, like just in their thighs or just in their belly or something. And it's to the point where it's really like Glitter Lazers has. Perfect example, her thighs. There's just like, wow, like it's clearly more than just being heavy. And although it's resistant to diet and exercise and all that, it will, I still read that was the #1 recommended treatment before surgery or anything. So want to make that clear. I have sympathy for anybody who's struggling with a stubborn fat. And if you have to get liposuction at some point, I don't see anything. I'm not trying to give her grief for getting surgery. That's not what I'm saying at all. Just want to get that out of the way too. I don't have an issue with Glitter and Lasers getting surgery. I do think that she might be able to get it more successfully if she addressed her issues first, but the surgery itself, I don't have a problem with that. About Foodie, Nutty thinks Foodie's doing a visa run. I wonder if she's got a mirror behind that camera because she projects so much. Foodie is currently in a coma. Is it a food coma, or is it just like a, or is it like a diabetic coma, or is it like a good coma or a bad coma? Right? Okay. Is she visa running, or like Skiddy said, is she doing an ERBs? Okay, let's let it run.
People are picking apart my mukbangs. They claim to hate them. They don't like them. They can't stand the noises.
Okay, well, that is true. But I will say this: I like seeing what Foodie's eating, but I don't like watching her eat. If that makes sense, hopefully it does.
Whatever. So now the tea on the mukbangs is that apparently every mukbang I do is massive and a binge, which most of them are neither.
Most of them are neither. I love how she says most of them. So which ones are then? Which ones are binges, Foodie? Are you, because you just said that some of them are. So are you going to take those down? Iraqi bees. Yeah, Capricorn. Jay, I want to second that for anybody out there. In fact, let me ask you folks. I don't want to take down this poll with Anna yet. I want to leave it up for a little bit so anybody who comes in has a chance to answer. But let me ask you folks in the chat. Is there anybody who like genuinely doesn't mind her eating noises? Like some people, it's okay if you don't mind. I'm not trying to, and if anybody says they don't mind, don't give them a hard time. I don't want anybody to feel bad. It's okay if you don't mind. Like I don't mind the hookah noises. That doesn't bother me. I know that really bothers some people. They hate the sound of the shisha. They hate the hookah. I don't mind it. I really don't. But by the same token, I cannot stand the eating noises. Those are just, I can't stand those. So is there anybody who's like especially bothered by them, or maybe not bothered by them so much? Because it seems most people really dislike them.
So let me explain. I will use the KFC mukbang as an example. Now, the KFC mukbang I just recently did today is neither a binge, and it is it's also not massive.
Welcome in, Tammy.
I will show you an example
Disgusting.
of a massive KFC binge.
Okay,
right here.
Love it. This is hilarious. This is hilarious. And then she says, you think what I'm doing is a binge? Well, look at the size of this binge. And then she clarifies, I meant a mukbang, not a binge. Okay. First off, This picture looks like it's edited. I don't even know if this is like an unedited picture. And if this is an unedited picture, I'd be surprised if this one woman ate all of this. And even if she did eat all of this, it doesn't make it. It's like, this is like saying, hey, you think this is bad, jumping off the roof is bad. Well, I'm going to jump off a bridge. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy talk. You're comparing two things that are so obvious. Like, this is just crazy. I shouldn't even have to explain.
As you can see, there are a couple of buckets of chicken. There is just a whole lot of food there, okay? And if you compare with my mukbang, I have 2 chicken wraps, which are...
I like your attitude, Elisa. I wish I just didn't bother me like so little. Wait, welcome to Lady Nighthawk. Yeah, I do not like it either. It makes you nauseous. I'll agree with you on that, Jamie. It's rude, but I just don't mind the noise so much. And welcome in, Jamie, by the way. I'll tell you, Lisa, I wish it didn't bother me because I like watching the videos and making jokes and doing like my own commentary. And when I have to hear the noises, it makes it harder for me to do it. Motivates you to work out more. I'll tell you, Grabbles, it helps me stick on my diet sometimes. It really does.
Yes, I do comment that in my video. And I have one, it's actually an individual size of cheese fries because you can actually get smaller size or family size, as you can see pictured here. Yes, I come with receipts.
See, because it's not a family size, it's not a binge. Because everybody knows a regular loaded fries from KFC is like, that's like nothing. That's like not even a snack, right? Like a regular single, that is such an absurd, this is just so crazy to me. And part of me thinks that Foodie really is that lost mentally. Part of me thinks that she really is that delusional when it comes to what a normal size meal is. Like, part of me thinks that she really does believe a 2,000 calorie meal is not crazily large. But then part of me says she knows how big she is and she knows that she didn't get this big eating air. So she must realize how fattening this food is, at least on some level. So feel what you may. Right? But Jane, but what was she, but is that really going to be enough to drink? Like, she's going to need some Pepsi with that too, I think. That's a fair point, Izu, and I've actually considered that. And, oh, geez, I'm not going to read this whole thing. Let me just read through a little bit of this. Okay, since most people seem to think YouTube is targeting eating anything on video for fat people, but not for thin, of course, here's the blog from YouTube with community guidelines and eating disorders. Yeah, I'm not going to read through this whole thing. This is just a lot of food salad, like diarrhea salad, whatever you want to call it. This is just Foodie talking crap, asking me breaking the new TOS with bullying anytime I've addressed anyone and has been in defense of people coming for me hard. And that is past, and all my videos are deleted, even if they are still on the net. I do not have several videos dedicated to offensively bullying anyone over and over and over, nor do I have an entire channel dedicated to bullying anyone. I always do my own content, and whether that be eating, beezing, or whatever. I don't take someone's content and make a 3-hour stream calling them their family names. This is such a rant. This is such a good rant. I wish she did this. I wish she read this herself. Like, could somebody get like an artificial intelligence Foodie voice to read this? I think that would be fun. And she finds it disgusting people are still using her old content during an abusive time of her past. Okay, to prop someone else past trauma. You've all seen the same how abusive, manipulative that duo was. All right. Now, thankfully, Marley Hendricks is going to show us some receipts of Foodie binging.
Yeah, I'm going on another binge. The night is not over. It's several hours later. It's like 2:30
Yeah, this is an edit.
I can't sleep. I'm actually going to go get a sub.
You got EO7 over here, Rudy.
That and McDonald's, and I think an A&W are like the only things open right now.
I'll tell you. Crab apples, there probably are somebody, but I don't know who it is. Not anybody who's at least doing it. Like HFC, I know she eats a lot, but she doesn't cry about the diabetes as much, as far as I know. Like, I'm trying to think of anybody's like as bad as this, like who does both, who does the eating and the complaining. Because there's people who eat more, and there's people who complain more, but I'm trying to think of somebody who eats more and complains more. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's a massive rise.
very well-lit parking lot. On a binge. On a binge.
Welcome in, Pepper Shavin in. No problem.
It's 2:48 in the morning right now. And I drove far away from home. That's about a good 25-minute drive to bring you. What's in?
You know, Camps, that's the only number in foodie stats that keeps going down. It's probably the only number in 2 digits.
Basically. I was craving so badly this teen burger. Oh my God.
All right, yeah. So anybody who I was talking over it a little bit, but anybody who didn't hear this, this is Foodie driving to like a McDonald's or what was it? She drove out to a what was it? Let me go back. It was an In-N-Out or something. She drove to a burger place at like 2 in the morning.
A good 25. Open right now. That in McDonald's and I think an A&W.
A&W.
The only thing.
She went to A&W at like 2 in the morning
very well
to get fast food because it was the only place that was open. Now I'm gonna admit, when I've once or twice when I used to drink and I would be up late, I've done that where I've like gone on a late night binge. Dramatic reading. I hope you liked it. Maybe Breezy will read it. As long as somebody reads it, I hope it gets read because it's nutty. Sorry, nutty. I keep saying nutty. I don't mean you. Agreed, Camps. Foodie's food bill is pretty wild. I'll say that. For somebody who actually has to pay for her own bill, who isn't just putting it all on an expense account, like for most people who spend a ton on food and things like that, they have expense accounts. Foodie is her own expense account, and she is spending a lot. The alligator claws. Those nails. Geez. You're right.
On a binge.
Is she going out and paying for these, or were these like home press on nails? Like, how is she doing this?
On a binge.
On a binge.
On a binge. On a binge. Back when she wasn't worried about getting demonetized.
It's 2:48 in the morning right now, and I drove far away from home. That's about a good 25-minute drive to bring you. What's in? So A&W basically. I was craving so badly this teen burger. Oh my God.
Now, you know what I think is interesting pointing out? Foodie called this a binge. This is way less than what she calls now a healthy meal. And that's why I like this edit by Marley Hendricks, because this shows it out. So this shows it so well. This hamburger here is just it looks like a plain hamburger. I don't see a lot of sauce on here. Maybe there's a little bit of mayonnaise, some ketchup, but I don't even see cheese on here. This just looks like a hamburger. And that's, it's not something you want to eat for a snack. But compared to her 2,000 calorie mukbang binges that she does now, this is really pretty minor.
I told you when I binge, it's serious. So
when she binge,
the front desk person is probably.
Real quick.
I told you when I binge, it's.
Yeah, exactly. Marley points it out here, called it her binge
serious.
herself.
So the front desk person is probably like,
what's that she got with that? Those fries or poutine?
What the hell is this girl doing? Talking to herself, binge eating in her. I need your parking lot for my binge eating video, okay?
Could she pick her nose with those?
Anyways, guys, you're seeing my dark side. You're seeing my dark side.
Now, if she paid for those nails, I don't know. I mean, I'm not an expert on nails, but those don't look like good, nice, like fancy manicure. Those look like kind of cheap. But whatever. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, fair point, Empress Chavinin. I saw a show the other day about in the Philippines, in particular, in Manila. In the slums of Manila, which Manila is the capital city of the Philippines, and there's some rough areas in there. And it showed that in a slum in Manila, the people were eating basically like leftover food from like the streets, and they were recooking it so they it wouldn't make them sick. And I'm just thinking to myself, wow, that's rough. So I'm not trying to say that it's you have to eat old food or feel guilty or anything like that, but there are people out there who are struggling with food. So it's a real thing still in the 21st century, believe it or not. I mean, it's not common, but it is an issue for some people. Do you think it's enough for her to have a snack for later? Or? They do look, something, they do look like claws on those fingers because her fingers are kind of stubby. So when she puts those nails on, it looks like a cat's paw. Oh, Angel of Glass, welcome in. You saw that as well? Yeah, that's a shocking show. Like, you'll never forget to get that. Anybody who's seen that? And I've seen some shocking things in my day. Like I'm from South Florida. I've seen some rough street stuff, but I haven't seen that. Never saw that. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe she figures like, well, if I can't wipe, then it's not going to matter.
Family members are kind of weirded out by the eating part of my channel, and a lot of people are, because bigger people eating all this junk food is.
There are places even here that is true.
Are going to be concerned.
That is true.
They don't, get to me about it. They don't really say too much, but I know it kind of bothers my mom. Why don't you do more makeup and cooking healthy stuff? And I said, I know, I'm going to. Anyway, wow. So my aunt went to my mom's one, like the other day. My grandpa was there, and like everybody, my sister's boyfriend. And they're like, she calls me
bow ties. Do you mean like were they like painted on with nail polish, or were they like glued on? Because if she like glued actual like little bow ties onto her nails, that's crazy. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with doing like a fancy style once in a while, but that's not something you could wear regularly, Like if you're doing like a cosplay, or you're getting dressed up for an event and you want to put on some crazy style, that's one thing. But you can't wash your hands if you have stuff glued to your nails, right? Like I think
like, no, she voice notes me on WhatsApp, and she's like, "Hi, cutie. We're all sitting here and we're on your YouTube channel." I think the most recent video I posted was like titled like Super Binge or something like that.
Pizza dough.
And my mom, they're like, they want to hear you sing. So I told them, okay, well, listen, there's some singing videos on there. They all listened to me sing that Cyndi Lauper song in front of everybody. And my mom's reaction was LOL. That's not a good reaction.
Well, that's an interesting point, Wooly. I didn't even think about that. But you're right, though. She never mentions her family anymore. I think her family doesn't even, I mean, if she talks to them, she doesn't seem to, she sure keeps it quiet if she does. And it's like the nails or something else. Maybe I misunderstand you, Tammy. I mean, oh God, if that is yuck, JV. I'm sorry, that's almost too gross to hear. I didn't want to know that. Oh man. That's a fair point. That is a fair point. Yeah, I think Chantel is somebody who doesn't really appreciate the blessings that she has, and now she doesn't really have them. And I'm going to say that myself. That I think over the years I've learned to be a lot more appreciative, and I wish I was more appreciative when I was younger. But we live and we learn, right?
And I don't know what videos they watched, but yeah, I'm exposed now. So I hope you enjoyed part 2 of my binge.
Oh, the nails!
It's like weird because at the same time.
Yeah, nails. I guess that is pretty expensive. Like to get like your nails done like for just, for one special occasion. That probably is kind of expensive.
I feel weird exposing this part of my life to thousands of people because I know there's so much hate. But at the same time, there's so many of you foodie beauties who are supportive. I'm not saying, and I don't mean like you support me being unhealthy. It's that you're kind to me always, no matter what, and you look forward to me spending time with you. I'm gonna try to put a quote of the day at the beginning of every video I do. And like today's was, you reap what you sow. And I really believe that. I believe in karma, because anytime I've ever done anything, I hope it's come back, good or bad. And that's why.
All right, Chantel, she believes in karma because everything she's ever done, it's come back good or bad. Geez, like that's just so funny. Like watching her say that when she's always try to start mess. But yeah, so anybody who's just come in, by the way, this video here, it's an edit from Marley Hendricks, and it's showing, because Foodie recently did a video talking about how she doesn't binge, and anybody who thinks she's binging is wrong. And this is a clip from an old video where she went out at 2 a.m. to go get food from A&W, to get a hamburger from them, and outright called it a binge.
YouTuber, I'm supportive of other YouTubers because you want the same thing in return. Like
816,
no
Rudy.
What page I go on, if I don't like something, I don't like or dislike it.
Any numbers you want tonight?
I have to really dislike it, like really to not like it. I give a thumbs up to every video I go on. I mean, what's the big deal? You know what I mean? So, because I know if I'm going to go looking around and disliking everybody and being, a total bitch, it's going to come back and bite my level of success in the ass. So, anyways, guys, I'm just kind of depressed today. Actually, really depressed today.
It's like a Mucinex booger and a skeleton.
And I'm going on the binge.
Welcome in, Bastos.
I just want to just eat. And I'm taking you with me.
Welcome in, Jamie. I don't know if I welcomed you in earlier.
So,
thank you.
Time. I just got 2 crunchy Dorito tacos. I don't even know.
And by the way, I got to do it. I got to see. JB, thank you for last week for getting me squared up on my definitions of the words, because I had it all mixed up with lipoma and lipedema, and you're the one who got on my butt and said, Dr. Phil, you got to double check your words. So thank you for that, because I did look it up, and I've since hopefully gotten the definitions more correct.
What's on them? Got some hot sauce porno action here. Oh my god. This tastes like temporary happiness. I don't know what I'm gonna eat next. I'll see how I feel.
BB was the best guy she had by far.
I'm not that filling in 2 tacos.
And
let's be real.
And in the end, it really seemed like he didn't really want to be with her anymore. And that's something that there was a time when he seemed to really like her, you know, and she just kind of blew that over the years. But I know what it's like to be young and to not value and to say, oh, well, you know what, I'll find somebody else. But, you know, sometimes you have a good thing. You don't realize it's gone. You know, it's good till it's gone sometimes. And I think that maybe what happened with BB there. I don't think she valued him when she had him.
Those who care about me. I know those who care about me might be worried. I'm going to be okay. Anyways, guys, I'm going to go somewhere else.
Look at Executive Goji's.
Well, I'm on a Mexican kick today. I went to Mucho Burrito. I don't know if it's like Chipotle. I don't have
She was a lot smaller.
Chipotle in the mall. We just opened, but that's about it. We haven't had Chipotle in Ottawa forever. Look at the size of this burrito. You guys are going to freak out. Mucho is
this is back, and I think she even calls us a binge in this video.
the biggest size. Oh my god. I think you could feed 5 people on this.
You could feed 5 people on this.
Or one of me. I'm going to see how much of it I can eat right.
And by the definition of a binge, that's basically, I think that's why Marley slowed that down there, because I think that's pretty much like one of the dictionary definitions of a binge, eating enough for multiple people at once.
You know?
That was depressing, Mouse Toes. That's something that's just so, like, I can kind of understand it in a sense, but it's just so depressing to think about. Somebody just giving up like that.
That's all I have left. Did I eat that really fast? And I look like a slob. Anyways, guys.
I'll tell you, Nutty, as somebody who struggled with my weight, I find myself sometimes just wanting to, and I don't mean like just wanting to just lay in bed and eat. I don't mean like that. But sometimes like I'll just be doing something and I'll just want to go grab a snack. And I have to tell myself, no, don't do that. Don't do that. You don't need that. You don't want that. And I think that it's just something you gotta be conscious of sometimes. And I think that Chantel is just that little voice that we all have that says, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that. Think twice before doing that. I think Chantel has strangled it. She silenced that little voice in her head that tells her to double check.
Number 2, I need my own setup, especially if I'm taking YouTube. I'm going to be taking it more seriously than I've been taking it. I don't want to just film myself randomly eating. Like, this isn't have to. I want to do creative things. I'm a creative person. You know?
I don't like
there's a lot more to me than just eating.
I don't really like Chipotle either.
Seriously, I'm going to be binging hardcore, so if you don't like that.
Going to be binging hardcore, she just said. And this is also, keep in mind, she's eating less here than she eats now. These so-called binges. And what did she just say a moment ago?
More seriously than I've been taking it. I don't want to just film myself randomly eating. Like, this isn't have to. I want to do creative things. I'm a creative.
Did anybody else hear that? I don't want to just film myself eating. I want to do creative things.
Especially if I'm taking YouTube. I'm going to be taking it more seriously than I've been taking it. I don't want to just film myself randomly eating. Like, this isn't have to. I want to do creative things.
True.
I'm a creative person, you know, and there's a lot more to me than just eating. No, I seriously, I'm going to be binging hardcore, so if you don't like that.
That's a good point, Mouse Toes. Foodie eats so much food, and sometimes I want to just shout at her. I say, Foodie, why, you're eating so much. Just cut down the portions, because there are times when I'll see her eat something that's not that bad. Like, she eats the stuffed grape leaves. Those aren't so bad. She'll eat like the chicken majboos. That's not so bad. But then she eats 10 pounds of it. She eats an entire hubcap of rice, that kind of stuff. And it doesn't matter what you eat when you eat pounds and pounds.
Too fucking bad for you. I mean, I'm not doing this for video. I'm doing this.
What?
And yeah, I have binge eating.
Officially now? They made it official? Finally made an honest man out of him, right? No, I don't think that's what happened. But wow. I think that's, from what I've seen, like, he's already bled Dee Dee dry. Like, does she even have anything left to bleed out of her at this point? Like, I think Natter's a parasite. I don't like to talk strongly in general, like put people down, but I don't think there's much just debate on that guy at this point. Like, he's just really just an awful person in every way. And I usually don't like to put people down, because I say to myself, like, oh, well, you know, what if everybody saw you at your worst moment? What would they think of me? But I feel pretty comfortable saying I'm better than Natter. I feel comfortable saying that. And I think that he's just not like, he's just a bad guy in every way. Like, why she married him? Like that. Oh, the only, like, if she married him, that could only mean that she's in a really bad place herself. Because why else would she do that? Why else would she agree to that unless she was herself in like the worst place? So that's just so, like, it's depressing. It's sad. I hope that Dee can figure herself out and stop going back to or staying with such a lousy guy. But ultimately, she's an adult and she has the right to do, you know, make her own decisions, and, even if they're really terrible decisions. Chantel has become that voice in everybody's head. She is the you got that little plump little devil on your shoulder. It's saying, "Let's bees." Yes, we are, Jamie. Yes, we are. We are watching it tonight. We are not getting. In fact, I'm budgeting at least 30 minutes for 90 Day Fiancé, and hopefully more than that. But yes, we are going to be having a full 90 Day Fiancé tonight segment. The Chantel segment's going to be over pretty soon.
I don't know if it's a disorder. I just like to fucking pick stuff in the face. Some people like cigarettes. Some people like crack. I like chicken nuggets and sex.
Oh, for Natter to keep Dee, the two obvious. I mean, money, obviously, and that's sad. And two, I mean, he needs a place to stay. I mean, it's just very mercenary. I mean, it's just. Everything about it is sad. I mean, I don't even want to put Dee down because she's in such a low place. Like, I don't even want to say anything bad about her. Not to say anything good about her, because she certainly has plenty of her own flaws. But I don't want to put somebody down when they're in such a bad place. And I'm sure Natter's not in a good place either. But he's dragged so many other people down with him that I don't feel that much sympathy for him. That's it. That's a good point, Crab Apples. I didn't really consider that. Welcome in, Dot. I think you are. I already welcomed Jen, actually. If I did, my apologies. But good to have you in that. Okay, so it's common law marriage. Interesting. Welcome in, Nirvana. Well, it made it official now. Oh, you meant Salah? Oh, the question was Salah and Foodie. Was that the question? That's a good question too, I guess. As far as the one from somebody else asked it a minute ago. I think it was Everest shoving in here with Salah and Foodie. Let me get back to that in a second. I got so far behind on the chat here. Geez, chat got so big so fast. I got to skip forward just a little bit, everybody. My apologies. I know if I miss anybody, let me just say hi as you come in here. Yeah, like I said, she's in a really bad place. I don't want to, you know, did Foodie go back for the wedding? Did she got on the visa run? Oh, there's so much good chat, but I gotta skip a little bit. All right, Monkey Mech, no problem. And if I miss anybody coming in, I apologize, and I will say hi when I see
these. I don't usually eat pork, but these are to die for. Wrecking balls with bacon aioli, bacon garlic aioli. So what a wrecking ball is?
Place to stay, money.
You get them at the Works Burger Bistro here in Ottawa. They're bacon wrapped, cheese-filled tater tots, and you dip them in bacon.
What's really funny is I originally thought that question about why does he stay was about Natter and Dee. And then when I realized it was about Foodie and Salah, I realized that the answers I gave basically worked for both of them.
Let's see if we have connections watching my videos. Gluttony, greed, lust.
That's a fair point, Elisa.
I'm doing one more pit stop before I go home. I'm going to go to Starbucks. For those of you who are going to comment, oh my God, you're binging, look at you. Obviously, I know I wouldn't have put this video out.
That makes sense.
Like, I'm not going to hide too much stuff from you guys, you know? And it is what it is, and I'm going to deal with it on my own terms. Now, I don't think anyone would accuse this mukbanger of having a binge here on KFC.
I actually, Foodie, just to be real for a second, I don't, like I said, I think this is an edited photo in the sense that I don't think this is somebody who's going to eat all this by themselves. But if she did eat that much, I absolutely would call it a binge.
Mukbanger of having a binge here.
No, if she actually ate all that much, I wouldn't just call that a binge. I would call that like a like a miracle of nature if she actually managed to fit all this food. If this girl, I mean, I can't see the rest of her. Maybe she's like Amber Lynn and she gets really big underneath these buckets of chicken. But like, I just couldn't even imagine this girl putting away all this food. And if she did, it absolutely would be a binge.
KFC.
Would absolutely be a binge.
Because they're thin. So there's the stigma right there, just because I'm overweight, that anything I eat that is not healthy, and I will acknowledge that the food I eat in mukbangs a lot of the time are not healthy.
I think so.
I use my mukbang as a means to eat things that most people think I shouldn't
like
eat.
even safe to travel to right now? Like, I know that foodie, I know like in the Middle East there's always danger, but is Iraq like last time? I mean, I'll admit it, I haven't checked in there for a while, but that just seems like is there like really a lot to do there as a tourist right now? I know there's like some historical sites, but foodie doesn't seem like the person who's interested in historical sites.
Just because somebody is eating large quantities of food in one sitting does not mean that it is considered a binge in terms of binge eating disorder. So I've explained this many times, but again, the community of reactors or haters or whatever, they are like talking to a brick wall.
I'm like a brick wall, just so you know.
And once they've made up their mind about something about your life, they're always right and you're always wrong no matter what.
See, we're always right and she's always, you know what, foodie? We're not always right, but we know that but we know sometimes when you're lying. And that's different from saying you're always wrong. But if you're lying about something, we're not going to change our mind unless we have reason to believe otherwise.
What you do, even if you prove yourself, they know more about your life, how you feel, than you do your own. Isn't that something? That's a true phenomenon.
I'm sorry, Lane.
I want to school you a little bit on what a binge is for me.
I forgot. I think you'd mentioned that about the gallstones. Hopefully you get some good news on that. Maybe I don't really know any tips on how to help with that, but hopefully, the doctors can give you some good news soon. Right? Like, that's like so much Photoshop. I figured it was Photoshop too, right? Yeah, it did look a little Photoshop to me as well. Welcome in, Susie Q. Oh, is she? Okay, well then respect to her if she really did eat all that. And welcome in, Enola. But either way, I will say that if she is a competitive eater and that's something she does as part of her sport, as it were, then I guess under those grounds it would not be a binge. But for anybody else, it would be. I'll just say that, regardless of how heavy or skinny they are. If you're eating like way more than you normally eat, then it's a binge. If she normally eats that much, then I guess it's not a binge. But that would make sense. I heard that she was kind of laying low. So welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, Blue Oz. Yes, Foodie is not a good pet owner. She mistreated BBJ, neglected BBJ, and actually was potentially would have even gotten BBJ put down despite being healthy. And that's just really, really disgusting when you think about it. That's what I was thinking too, Emperor Shabbanin, that somebody eats like that. They don't eat like that all the time. Or look like Mariam, the one who got the plaque?
For me, and I told the doctor I've seen about this, just a reminder, I have been to
Yes.
outpatient center for eating disorders in Ottawa when I lived there in Canada.
Foodie calls it a mukbang, but she does these mukbangs for every single meal. She'll do 3 mukbangs a day. She'll do a breakfast mukbang, a lunch mukbang, a dinner mukbang, a second dinner mukbang. That's not the same as like recording one meal a week. Like if I record, like if once a week I decided to make a meal and record myself eating it, which is actually not a bad idea. I don't even like really have anybody to record me or anything, but I'm just saying, somebody recording themselves like cooking a meal and eating it, or even just eating it on occasion and talking about something is very different from just recording them eating.
Before that, I've seen a few therapists for quite a few sessions. I've been to inpatient therapy growing up as a teenager.
Yes, Julia does look like she needs a cleaning, a brush.
So I've read books on binge eating, Brain Over Binge, The Binge Code, intuitive eating books.
It did look big.
I've downloaded countless calorie counting apps, and I've tried many diets.
Okay, this part here, Foodie is being very disingenuous when she talks about, I've tried all these diets, I've tried all these calorie counting apps, I've done all this good stuff. But then you really should know that what you're doing is not healthy. I mean, if nothing else, can't you look at the scale and see how much weight you gained? Oh, that's right. Her scale says she's lost 60 pounds, right? Wasn't it? So I guess never mind.
But for me, a binge, when I enter binge mode, we'll call it, it's not just about how much food I'm eating. And I can tell you right now, you're not going to see me actually have a binge in terms of binge eating disorder, which is when I binge eat on camera. There's a big, big difference.
There's a big, big difference. Foodie, you have this entire video. You did nothing to explain the difference. And this is not because Marley edited that part out. There was just nothing in there that explained it. I watched the original one. That's why I'm using this one, because I think it's more illustrative.
Between overeating and binge eating. So I understand the reception for that. People are concerned because I do talk a lot about my health problems. People know I have binge eating disorder. They know I have diabetes. But what you don't know,
I agree with that,
is other things that I eat throughout the day. You don't know how often.
That is what you would basically see. You'd see me eating very, like, as far as the meals, you'd see me eating pretty normal sized meals, and then you would see me probably eat like some granola bars or something in between. You know, eat like some snacks and stuff like that. But the actual meals themselves, I don't eat like giant portions.
Often I actually do binge eat, and you don't know whether allowing myself to eat these foods.
Yeah, she has like an entire second kitchen under there. Okay, so now we're gonna do a video's not over yet.
If you have an eating disorder and you're obese and it shows, people just assume that you just overeat and you're just a pig. Basically, that's exactly how it goes. They don't think that you have disordered eating.
Hold on a second. That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense. She's saying that if people see somebody who's fat with an eating disorder, they think that you overeat and you're a pig, but they don't actually see your disordered eating. Let's let her say this again, because maybe she misspoke. I'm not sure.
Because again, if you have an eating disorder and you're obese and it shows, people just assume that you just overeat and you're just a pig. Basically, that's
okay. So that's one sentence there. Some people may assume that.
Exactly how it goes. They don't think that you have disordered eating.
That doesn't make sense, because people think overeating is disordered eating. Eating too much is disordered eating. Eating like a pig is absolutely disordered eating, whether it's good or bad. Or I'm not making a moral judgment. I'm just saying, if you overeat and you eat way too much and you're eating to the point where you're harming your health, that's disordered eating. Whether it's intentional or unintentional, or because you have a psychological issue, or because you have some hormonal issue, whatever the reason is, it's still disordered. It's still not healthy.
And I'm here to tell you that regardless of what you think, it doesn't mean that you know. Actual binge is a psychological issue, and it's usually triggered by different things. But it's usually just a big, overwhelming urge.
That sounds like a really nice treat for your dog.
I'm trying to think of how to describe it accurately. It's hard to describe. It's a feeling. It's like a overwhelming feeling.
This statement right here, well, again, I kind of talked through it, but this is fantastic here, where she just completely fumbles when she's trying to explain how she's not binging.
But it's usually just a big, overwhelming urge. I'm trying to think of how to describe it accurately.
She's trying to think of a way to describe a binge without calling it a binge.
It's hard to describe. It's a feeling. It's like a overwhelming feeling. And it's not something I would want to see myself do, and it's not something I would want to show people. I binge in secret. It's something that
So therefore, that's her entire video boils down to that. It's not a binge, because if it were a binge, we wouldn't be seeing it. There you go. That's the proof it's not a binge. If it were a binge, it wouldn't be on a video. Therefore, anything that's on her channel is not a binge, because if it were a binge, she wouldn't upload it.
I hide. I mean, I've told you guys the stories about the pizza boxes in my closet when I used to live with BB, so it's like,
oh, welcome in, Queen of Awesome. Hope you're having a good night.
Do it in secret. I don't do it as a mukbang.
I think
I've shown maybe a couple of binges as more of a vlog or like an educational thing to be transparent and show you what it's like for me. I may not even have. I don't remember that far back about what I did with the video.
There's no sense here.
Like that. But for a mukbang, no, it's not like that. A mukbang is a mukbang.
I mean, her sister is from my understanding, her sister is a relatively healthy size, and yes, it's possible that her sister may have a slightly healthier genetics or a less predisposition toward obesity. But her sister doesn't seem to overeat like Chantel does either. So and her mother is not exceptionally big. So the presumption would be that the other people in her house were eating relatively normal portions. Or her sister's a little bit chunky. Okay, well, she's still not as big as Chantel though, right?
I feel like a pig, but you know what? Oink, oink.
There might have been some disordered eating in the house though, which is fair. If there was some disordered eating in the house, it would explain a lot. So let me pull up the Anna video, and then we're going to do the 90-day fiance stuff. We are going to cover that tonight. But let me pull up the Anna video because I'm going to do a little bit of that. Your mom's a little bit chunky. Yeah, not as big as Chantel. I guess everybody looks small when you stand next to Chantel, right? and her aunt is big from what I heard too. You know what, Empress Chavanin? She describes being somewhat promiscuous at various times. And, later in life, after Natter, she was very promiscuous. But when she was younger, she describes being promiscuous. So, I mean, I didn't know Chantel when she was younger, but if she was, and that was, her way of getting attention, that would explain a lot, why she's so happy to get negative attention now. Blue eyes laying it out there. Chantel does have disordered eating, but disordered eating is just because it's like somebody who has disordered drinking, somebody who drinks too much alcohol. Just because they know they shouldn't doesn't mean that it's okay for them to drink as much as they want. Just because I have a problem with drinking, so I'm going to drink be an alcoholic, but it's okay because I have alcoholism in my family. No, if you know you have a problem with alcohol, then you got to work twice as hard to avoid it. You can't just say, oh, well, I have a problem with alcohol, so I'm just going to drink as much as I want. That's what foodies do in there. She's saying, oh, well, I have a problem with food, so I have to eat as much as I... Boba Tea Frank that opened that closet door. It was not after Koki. Interesting. So you folks have better knowledge of the pre-Kuwait, the older Chantel eras better than I do. But that's part of why we're going. Okay, speaking of the poll, speaking of other topics, I'm losing my own train of thought here. I have a poll in the chat. Everybody, please give me your answer on that poll because I'm about to cover a section with Anna. So let me put on a funny video from Kate Winslet about Anna and glitter and lasers here. Let me put this on real quick. I hit the wrong button. Share the screen.
Me want more Takis.
Why are you so bad? Why are you so bad?
I am an attractive person. I am fun to be with.
Me want more Takis.
Consenting to surgery.
Give me $200.
I deserve good things. I am entitled to my share of happiness.
Yeah.
And when I think about foodies, when I think about foodie's past, that's probably sometimes whenever I do feel a little sympathy for Foodie, it's when I think of her as a younger girl. But even then, she's had a lot of time to work on herself since, and that's, so I kind of look at that as two different things in a way.
But when the smell hit the crowd, that's when Marta's plan really started to work. Girlfriends barfed on boyfriends, kids barfed on their parents.
She deserves it. She's earned it.
I like the drugs.
She's earned it.
Martas just sat back and enjoyed.
I agree, Capricorn.
A complete and total barforama.
Okay, so yes. So as far as Anna, glitter and lasers, Anna did this whole big video crying about how she's going to get surgery. So let me put that video on. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but I'm going to cover a little bit of it. So let me put on the bumper real quick. Let me pull up the video. Give me a second here. 1 second, folks. Oh, yes, and I'm going to end the poll while I'm looking up the video.
It's interesting. I read some comments today.
So recently I've gotten
1 second here. Okay, so we got the poll and the results are in. 50% of people think that Anna will not achieve. Oh, let me read the poll question while we're at it. The poll question is, will Anna get the surgery, lipo weight loss surgery to reduce her size, and then what will happen? 50% of people believe she will not achieve any meaningful results. 32% believe after getting the surgery, she will substitute a new addiction for food. 13% believe after surgery, she will chase a, quote, perfect body with more surgery. 4% believe she will get healthy and then share her blessings with others. And I personally hope that's what it is, but I'm not leaning on that. So we're going to replay just a little bit of this. I know most of you were here for this last week, so we're just going to replay a little bit of the intro. This is Anna talking about how she's going to be getting surgery. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about why I think this is, give my opinion on this, that I've had a chance to think about it.
To address my lipedema.
So that's
I'm
the
trying
statement.
to smile through it and I'm trying to live through it. But
If you notice, there's no tears here. And we're going to fast forward to the end and we're about halfway through before we even get like possibly a tear.
I am crying a lot.
I noticed that there were no tears.
I can't help feeling like a failure. And I know sharing this, I am going to get shredded online. I know that is.
That's a fair point too,
so
Monkey
many
Mac.
people are going to do. I'm not the problem.
I will say that when they do plastic surgery, I know sometimes they have to kind of get naked, like, or semi-naked. So I don't know exactly what they would wear.
And
liposuction.
that's hard because, like,
that's the other thing. Anna has not actually said exactly what surgery she's getting, which she doesn't have to say it. But if you're doing a whole video about surgery, why won't you even tell us what surgery you're getting? She says surgery to address my lipedema. If it's liposuction, that may address your lipedema, but just to be straight up, Anna, you have a lot of body fat other than lipedema. I looked up lipedema. If Anna's thighs and her legs are absolutely an area where she has lipedema, but her arms and her upper body and her neck and the rest of her is carrying a lot of body fat. So if you're carrying body fat throughout, liposuction on one portion of your body is not going to fix all of that. And it's okay if you get liposuction. I'm not saying she can't get liposuction, but she needs to understand that it's not going to cure her obesity. If she thinks that this is the first step to curing her obesity, it's kind of backward. You know, her weight is all over the place, partly because she uploads her videos out of order from when she records them. So we never really know exactly what's going on. Yeah, this is total sad fishing BS. The fake crying. Welcome in, Tish. Her crying was so fake. She's always doing this fake crying. And I'm not saying that somebody has to have all tears pouring down their face. But if you're going to cry for 20 minutes, there's not going to be a single tear. That doesn't make sense. Anna is the problem, Elizio. I agree with you on that. Camps rocks the banana hammock to the doctors. I personally use the Speedo. My doctor always asks me to wear that whenever he does the prostate exam. Maybe next time maybe he'll do a house call. I don't know. All right. Enough of that. So let's watch just a little bit more and then I'm going to give my opinion.
As a bigger body, you're just gaslit your whole life to feel like you're the problem.
What I don't understand is Anna talks a lot about her conditions, but she has
big, don't do anything about it. And guess what? Both of those are wrong.
Let me skip forward just a little bit more.
In 1 week, I am having surgery to address my lipedema. And I felt like
Was he supposed to buy me a drink first?
I needed to come and just explain why and how I got to this point. About 2 years ago, I started talking about my health journey.
Okay, 2 years ago, her health journey. Anna's in the last year did the whole thing with the Run Lab. Anybody remember that? She allegedly lost 100 pounds in this time. She's going to talk about that in just a minute. And when she mentions that 100-pound weight
I
loss,
was really open about everything going on. But as time went on, there was just so much criticism, and it affected my mental health. And I also was afraid that I would start making decisions based on what people thought of me versus what was actually best for me. So I decided at that point to pull back and to allow.
So I know, I watched this last week, but I watched it again like 2 times. I really did, because I wrote like a whole thing about this. I'm going to read it to you in a minute. She says here about how she held back on talking to us because she was afraid, she got pushback. People criticized her. All right.
Allow myself the time to make the right decisions. And that with the intention of maybe not ever sharing it. But now I feel a responsibility to share it because
I think so too.
I genuinely feel like I dealt with my condition too late, and I can be honest about that. And
she feels a responsibility to share it because she feels like she dealt with her condition too late. I agree with you on the second part, at least. You have dealt with your condition too late. But dealing with your condition is getting healthy.
am working on not punishing myself for that, because I think it's an unfair thing to punish myself for, but it's something I deeply feel right now. And
But what do you mean punish yourself? What's the punishment? What punishment are you going to have to endure? Just be straight up.
Therapy is great. I'll get through it, but right now I'm not. And if I can
Agreed.
help somebody else,
I've heard that as well,
treatment
Doc.
and care they need, and figure out how to do that, I want to be that person, because I don't
Welcome
want
in,
anyone
Nervous
else
Rider.
to go through what I'm going through right now. So
Thank you for
I
coming
have
in.
lost about 100 pounds.
Okay, this is the crux of it here. She claims she lost about 100 pounds. First of all, if she has lost 100 pounds, which is questionable, she's gained back a lot of it. But it calls into question the entire argument that she's unable to lose weight because she has lipedema. And then the other point, which she always makes, is that, well, her weight isn't the problem. So if your weight's not a problem, why do you have to lose weight? And if your lipedema is not affected by weight loss, then why are you bringing up weight loss? But more importantly, why were you able to lose 100 pounds, but unable to lose any more? That doesn't make sense. Why you lost 100 pounds and then all of a sudden your conditions stopped you from losing any more weight despite carrying a lot of body fat? It's not like.
And in January, I stopped losing weight. I was taking Wegovy. I know I've never talked about my medication before, but it is important to the story.
Thank you, Nutty.
So I'm going to talk about it here, and I'm not endorsing anything. You should go see your doctor for any medical treatment. It's just important to the storyline.
So remember, for a year, Anna said her entire weight loss was because of her fitness app. She was sponsored. She was a sponsored athlete. If you really want to be technical about it, she was a sponsored athlete for a fitness app. It was called Copilot, and it was an expensive app. It was like $10, $20 a month or something you would have to pay. And they would be your own personal trainer, this app. And she said that she lost 100 pounds using this app. Now she says she lost 100 pounds using a weight loss medication. Well, which one was it? It was both? All right. But yeah, okay. So now let me read some of my prepared statement that I wrote. The biggest issue I have is now that she's giving us all this information, she still has not provided any meaningful documentation. This 100-pound weight loss, where is the weigh-in? Where is the before weigh-in? Where is the before picture? Where is the after picture? Where is the clothes that used to fit you when you were 100 pounds heavier? What size were you then? What size are you now? Why is there no information to back up any of this? Anybody who's ever lost weight, don't you lose sizes on your belt? Don't you lose sizes in your clothes? Anna hasn't ever reported losing any sizes. She doesn't even show the, detective, is that what you sent me? To be fair, I haven't checked my my Instagram since earlier. I saw that you had sent me something, but I didn't see what it was. And I saw that you sent me something, it didn't go through, and I haven't checked it since then. Wegovy. But that's awesome, though. I will definitely pull those up, and I'll put them up next week. Yes, Wegovy. I'm sorry. Did I say Lagobi? My bad. Interesting. A bottle of wine is about 700 calories. Easily. Thank you, Angel of Glass. See, but is Anna being forthcoming about that? My body has changed so much. I'm so amazed at what my body can do. Good job getting out there. How many bottles in a keg? Right? Did you get your picks? Well, I don't know if I want your picks, Camps. I mean, no disrespect. But I mean, are you wearing something this time? Good point, Nutty. Face and everybody's different. Everybody has their own problem areas. She said Lego be okay. Interesting. Okay, so
I've been on the Wegovy for about, I'm going to say 8
very
months,
good, detective.
and
I will
just
pull those
stopped
up, and
losing weight.
next week we'll put those on.
And I was keeping around an 1,800 to 2,000 calorie diet, and I was training for my 5K.
Okay, 1,800 to 2,000 calorie diet, training for her 5K. This doesn't make any sense. Because if you were doing this, why weren't you proud of any of these results when they happened? Why didn't you say, hey, everybody, here's my 100-pound weight loss. Look at the before, look at the after, look at the weight loss, look at the clothes. You've never shown any evidence of any of this. So let me read a little more of my prepared statement here. Anna alleges she successfully lost 100 pounds by January, doing everything her doctors advised. She alleges she continued to do everything they advised to achieve and maintain a healthy weight, but just stopped working. They gave her weight loss meds and she dieted and exercised, but the weight loss stopped. These are strong claims. They need some strong evidence. Anna is a professional influencer, right? So everything she does is recorded. So she certainly has evidence of all this, right?
And if you haven't seen that video, I'll link it down below just so you can get an idea of like what I was doing.
1,800.
And that was
That's
weird. That was unusual. And I was tracking just like everything.
1,800 to 200,000 calories a day is what she claims. Now, even if it was all protein bars, I don't believe that she was only eating that few number of calories. If she was, she's also drinking another 2,000 calories a day. The 100-pound weight loss, right? I don't see it. I don't see the 100-pound weight loss. And if it's there, and like I said, Angel of Glass, it's very easy to prove us wrong, isn't it? If we don't see the weight loss, all Anna has to do is show us the weigh-in. All she has to do is show us a before and after picture. All she has to do is show us the clothes that fit her 100 pounds ago and just put them on now and show us how big they are. Why don't you just do that, Anna? You buy new clothes every month, right? She buys new clothes every month. So certainly she must have clothes from back when she was heavier. Why doesn't she show us those to us so we can see the difference? Yeah, if you eat 1,800 calories a day, that's going to be a significant weight loss. Yeah, drinking will absolutely destroy the results of it. She is tall, so her weight is going to be heavier. So that's I concede that to Anna. She's going to weigh more than a shorter woman, even at a same body fat percentage. Exactly. She could show us some kind of receipts for this. It just doesn't feel belief. Oh yes, and that's a good point too, Empress Shavin. I mean your earlier comment here. The only way to get insurance paid is to get clearance from 8 doctors, including a psychiatrist. I think that's a good thing. I think that psychology is very important because look at Anna right here. This is a perfect example of somebody whose psychology is not ready. She is not doing anything to get herself healthy that works. She can talk all she wants about her 1,800 calorie diet and her 5K running, but the results just aren't there. I mean, I've been on a diet. I've done exercise, and you get in shape. It happens. It will happen. And even if she has a syndrome that causes her to maintain more body fat, the rest of her would start getting smaller. You know what I mean? Like even if she has lipedema on her legs and thighs, why is the rest of her not getting smaller? It just doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. It's exactly, Susie. It doesn't add up. 1,800 calorie, and she's claiming to have been on an 1,800 calorie a day diet. If she was saying, well, I was running, but I was eating a lot and I was drinking a lot, well, okay, that would explain it. Or if she said, well, I wasn't really being active. Yeah, I was dieting, but I was just laying around all day, so I didn't really lose any weight. Okay, I could believe that, but it's not possible to diet and exercise and not lose any weight. It just doesn't add up. It just doesn't add up. So let me read the rest of my statement, or let's let this play a little bit more, and I'll read some more of my statement. And anybody who wants to see 90 Day Fiancé, we are going to have it. That's going to be the end of the show. That's going to be coming up in just maybe another 5-10 minutes. We're going to finally run that.
be my best and healthiest self. And so it was very frustrating. So my doctor was like, well, maybe we'll try a different medication. Zepbound goes up higher in its dosages. Maybe you just need a higher dosage. We went on Zepbound. And by we, I mean I went on Zepbound. Nobody else joined me. It wasn't like a collective. But I ended up having a really bad allergic reaction. And it also made me hungry versus stable.
And Angel, if I'm not mistaken, you've had some pretty good results. You don't have to share anything you don't want to. But from my understanding, you've had some pretty good success with your weight loss surgery. I know the Hippieista is another one who's had some good success with their weight loss surgery. I thankfully managed to keep the weight off. I know I had the lap band surgery like 10, 15 years ago now. It was more than that, 20 years ago maybe. It was a long time ago. But, you know, over the years, I've struggled with my weight. It's gone up and down, but I've kept it mostly off. And I had to go see a psychiatrist too. So I think that's a normal thing. They want to make sure that your mind is in the right place. You have to be somebody who's already like thinking about losing weight. That's why they want you to lose weight before the surgery. Getting liposuction is not a long-term solution because the body fat will just grow in other places.
Losing my appetite. So it was not good for me. And I also started to have like pain, and we thought that was related to the allergic reaction because, you know, allergic reactions can cause inflammation and all kinds of other things.
Fantastic, Angel
Didn't
Glass.
mind to it, detoxed off the medication, went
That
back
is just
on Wegovy, and then I felt great again. Still wasn't losing weight. So
here's again, this parts where she claims I was dieting and I was exercising and I was on weight loss medication. I just wasn't losing weight. She breaks the laws of thermodynamics. It's not possible to carry hundreds of pounds of body fat and diet and exercise without losing a significant amount of that body fat. If she had the body fat that was stubborn, that didn't go away, then I could understand that. But the other body fat would start to go away, some of it at least. Welcome in, Doris Hayden. Good to have you tonight. I know you wanted foodie. We did cover foodie the first half, but I do have 90-Day Fiancé coming up. Maybe you'll enjoy that as well. We're going to be covering, but we're in the middle of Anna right now. We're just talking about how we're going back over some of this video. We're not watching the whole thing again, but I'm just kind of going on a bit of, I've rewatched it since then. And I've really thought about it. And I just have to address a few facts. Dot's on an ice cream binge today. Hey, that's perfect. I'm a big believer in having a cheat meal or a treat meal. I like to call it, not even a cheat meal. I like to treat myself. I think that's perfectly fine. I love cookies. I love cakes. I don't really eat candy too often because it's very easy to overeat that. But have something you like once in a while. As long as you can do it responsibly, it's good to have a treat. Oh, geez. I hope he's urinating. Oh, well, hopefully that little scamp will behave himself a little better. You got to obey Nutty. Oh, geez. Well, you know, that happens sometimes, but at least it sounds like you got the right mindset. You're ready to get right back on the train, or at least not let it, you know, get any worse. Right. Yeah. And I agree with that. The drinking is just so many empty calories. It's so many empty calories, and it's just sugar. And I'm not against drinking, but if somebody is trying to watch their weight, you got to watch your alcohol consumption too. Hey, you know what though? As long as you're in a good place psychologically, as long as you're healthy, right? And you feel healthy, if you are healthy, then that's what matters. As long as you're good, right? Hey, nothing wrong with that, Nutty. Rainbow sherbet is pretty good stuff. I like orange and I like berry sherbet. Those are my favorites.
The doctor was like, maybe it's just a plateau. Just keep going.
Okay, so let me just address one more thing quickly about Anna, and then we're going to get on to the 90-Day Fiancé. Let me address one more thing here. So she didn't have any before and after photos. She has no video documentation. All she has are videos of workouts that are very heavily edited. She has no weigh-ins. She won't even tell us her body measurements. And I bring that up not because of any salacious interest. I'm not interested in her measurements for any reason like that. But if she's a clothing model, shouldn't she tell us what size she is? Like, shouldn't she say like, hey, I'm a size 3X, or I'm a size 4X, or I'm a size 5, or whatever X's she is, she should tell us because she's ostensibly modeling clothes for women that aren't, if she was modeling clothes for feeders, then I guess it doesn't matter what size she is. But if you're modeling clothes for people who are going to buy the clothing, then you should tell them your size so they can accurately assess the size of the clothes. So she doesn't, and when I say your size, say things like, oh, I have a 40-inch waist or 50-inch waist, whatever inch waist I don't know what size she is, but whatever it is, she should tell people so they can understand the sizing of the clothing. But does she ever do that? No. She's a fashion model, but nobody even knows what size she is. She claims she's done everything necessary to lose weight, but it didn't work. And again, I don't want to, if I was Anna, I would just show some documentation. I wouldn't waste all this time arguing with people back and forth about weight loss when I could just prove it.
And in June, whenever I went to the doctor in LA, like 2 weeks previously, I can't even remember when that was. So, oh gosh. I want to say it's March, but that could be wrong. It could also be April. It's all a blur right now. But what happened is
vegan barbecued ribs. I've never even heard of that. I hope that, but they sound like they're probably good, right? As long as they taste good, that's the most important thing. Yeah, Anna doesn't seem to have lost very much weight. Eats and drinks on top of that. I'm so happy for you, Angel of Glass. It's good to finally be in a healthy place. Especially when it feels like it's been so far away for so long. Hey, as long as you're feeling good, you're feeling healthy, don't worry about if somebody's complains, oh, you're not exactly the right size. You're the right size for somebody, right? Exactly. Anybody who's honest about their weight, whether it's gaining or losing it, you should be able to show the receipts. Exactly. And it's not to be a mean or anything, but just to shut us up. Like, why even have the discussion? Why not just shut me up and just show me that I don't know what I'm talking about? Good point, Angel. She never really is serious about her sizes. Okay, so let's cover the 90-day fiancé. Oh, that does sound good. Salmon and rice. So let me pull up the thing, and I might get cut off by TLC, but I don't think so, because I managed to find some short clips that are only like 2 to 3 minutes each. So hopefully, if I pause during the clips, I'm not going to get kicked off the air for this. So let me pull up the playlist, and let me see if I had anything else I wanted to add about glitter and lasers. So yeah, basically my conclusion is, if I was Anna and I had any proof of any of this, I would just show the proof. I wouldn't get caught up arguing with people when I could prove them wrong. And that just doesn't make sense. Why would you want to argue when you have proof? Why would you want people to doubt you when you have proof? And if it's something that you actually did and you record yourself all the time, then how could you not have proof? All right, so let me pull up the Big Ed segment here. And I'm going to have to pause and cut forward at various points because I know that TLC is just crazy about the I'm also going to do this where I'm going to make the screen half size because I really don't want to get cut off in the middle. But hopefully this will work. All right. Let's do it like this, I think. Because this way it's only part of the screen. Or if I obscure the screen partially, I think this is the best way to do it, right? Obscure the screen somewhat.
Nice. Hold on. I actually gave myself the name Big Ed.
Okay, so this is Big Ed. Let me give everybody an intro. Big Ed. This show is called 90 Day Fiancé. And Big Ed here is a character. Big Ed is under 5 feet tall, and respect for all the short kings out there. Nothing, if you're tall, if you're short, whatever, there's a shoe for every foot, right? Sometimes, thank you, Angel of Glass. That's a good tip. I think I'm going to speed it up just a little bit, and then I'll slow it down just a little bit.
Perfect. Because I have a huge personality, and it makes me feel tall. That's the money.
So Big Ed is a photographer, and I guess he photographs glamour models. Like, this woman seems relatively glamorous, right? And you know what's really funny? This girl looks like an absolute giant. She looks like the biggest, most tallest, hugest Amazon woman ever. She's probably only about 5'3", maybe 5'5". But she looks like she's 6 foot tall at least. She looks like she's 7 feet tall next to him.
Nice. Also, it's funny because I'm not tall. Good job. Rain. I'm actually 4'11", not in heels. I'm kidding. No. My height
you're very
is something
welcome.
that I'm very self-conscious of. But it's something that I've been able to overcome because I'm Big Ed. You guys are great. Thanks again.
I like he says, I'm actually very short, but I'm able to overcome it because I'm Big Ed. All right. Now let me just speak as a guy here. I've been blessed, not to be arrogant, I've been blessed to be average height. I know, right? It's a flex. It's a flex. I am blessed to be average height. Don't have to worry about being short. And it's awesome. It's awesome. I'm just gonna say, all right, whatever. I'm being stupid now. But seriously, Big Ed, I've been an ugly duckling at times, but I've never had to deal with something as profound as Big Ed's situation. And I also should point out that Big Ed's height apparently stems from a disability of some kind. So I don't want to mock him too severely for any, just for his appearance or anything. But he does seem like a bit of a buffoon, and I will mock him for that. So let's watch a little bit of this show and let's see what he acts like, because that seems to be what people have a problem with. If he was this really, really wonderful guy in every other way, I think more people could overlook his height. But I think people have problems overlooking that because he's also a bit abrasive. Let's see a little bit about him.
You guys are awesome. Teddy, this is not about you. Teddy is my best friend. Good boy. I cannot think
I'm
about
5'10", Empress. I'm 5'10". I'm over 5'10" in my shoes, but I'm just barely 5'10".
Without Teddy. Love you, buddy. He's somebody that I can talk to. He's somebody that listens. I'll always have you. I'll always have my Teddy. He's a good boy. My track.
I don't know. I don't want to presume anything. I don't know. Big things come in small packages sometimes, so it is what it is. Detective Cochise understands what it's like. We and I'll tell you, it's one of those things where I wouldn't mind being taller, but I'm just glad that I'm not really short, at least.
Record with relationships is not very good. I was married for 2 years, and it didn't work out because I was unfaithful. Drink some more water. Come on. It was just a.
Well, you know what, though? There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, as long as you like each other, right? Like I've dated women taller than me. I've dated women shorter than me. I'll admit I've never dated any woman who's like super duper short, like under 5 feet or anything like that. But I mean, yeah, there's as long as you're happy with each other.
Stupid mistake, but I did get a beautiful daughter out of that marriage, Tiffany. She's 29 years old. We are pretty much two peas in a pod.
And he does have a daughter, and his daughter is actually kind of cute. She's normal sized. I mean, I guess she's actually maybe a little bit on the short side, but she looks tall next to him.
She is just like her father, stubborn, and she's the best thing that I have created on this earth. You my buddy?
At least you gave him a chance.
You my buddy, Teddy, always. Come on.
I'm going to speed this up a little bit, actually, because it's a little bit slow to start. It's a little bit boring in the intro.
After my divorce, I didn't think about having a girlfriend because of my daughter. My daughter was my life. Teddy, sit. Say your doggy prayers. Okay. Good job. Good boy.
It's
By
being that
waiting
photographer.
to date so long, I said to myself, I'm never going to find love. It's me and Teddy. This is going to be my life. She's texting me right now.
We only have so much time. Let me actually speed up. Oh, actually, I don't have to speed up. We're right at the important point here. Okay, we got here.
Telling me that she loves
me. Took us a minute, but we're here.
But when I met Rose, everything changed.
So Ed has a new girlfriend, apparently. 23 years old girlfriend, Rose, from the Philippines.
My girlfriend is Rose Marie. She's 23 years old, and she lives in the Philippines. One day I'm online on social media. I'm scrolling through, adding friends, and I come across Rose Marie's picture. And I'm like, oh my God, I sent her a friend request. She accepted me. And we became friends about 3
And
months
he's a
ago.
big squirrel.
She has the most amazing, deep brown eyes. I was like, wow.
Okay, so now this calls it, yes, I like this. 23, is this a scam? This is old, Alizu. I know it's old, but people have requested this. And to be fair, I've never covered it. So I think it'll be fun.
I'm in love.
Okay, so apparently this is a 23-year-old girl from the Philippines, and Ed is a single dad, but he doesn't live with his daughter anymore. Apparently she's moved on. So let's see what their relationship is like. It's a long-distance relationship.
Talking to Rose has become the best part of my day. Oh, cool. So I said, look, will you be my girlfriend? Her response was, sure, I'll be your queen and you can be my king. Every morning.
She looks pretty in the pictures. I'll give her that.
The first thing she does when she wakes up is she sends me a photograph. I don't have a connection like this with anyone.
8:12, Rudy. It's 9:12 over here.
Rose is the woman of my dreams, and I can't wait anymore to meet her.
All right, so Big Ed is heading out to meet his woman of his dreams. I gotta say, the Dot who said he looks gay, I don't know if he's gay or he's not, but this backpack with this dog does make him look gay. Like, it really does. And I don't mean that insultingly or anything. I just mean, like, I could, as a straight man, I could never see myself dressing like with this little backpack with this doggy in it. I just don't, it just is like very like effeminate and kind of, I don't know. It's something I would do.
So next week, I'm traveling 7,500 miles all the way to the Philippines to meet Rose, the love of my life, for the very first time. You know, in my heart, she's the one.
I think that's what she wants.
Ryan, how you doing, man?
Doing well. Hey,
awesome.
Where are we shipping to today?
Well,
maybe. I mean, and I do agree with what Nirvana's saying here about how it seems like this relationship, like, I don't think she seriously is interested in him for him. But we'll find out.
What do you think?
Yeah.
The Philippines. Again, yeah.
Rosemary?
Rosemary.
All right.
In fairness, Nirvana, Salah, Natter, it's not just the women.
After about 4 weeks
I mean, look
of
at
Rose being
Foodie,
my
right?
girlfriend, I started sending gifts every week. But unfortunately, as far as I know, Rose hasn't received any of the many gifts that I've sent because
She's like
she lives in a
ALR.
very poor and remote area. So it takes a long time. But on gifts and shipping, I've probably spent over $5,000.
What are you sending her?
This time, this is much smaller.
What'd you send her last time?
Oh my God, sheets, shoes, pillows. I bought her dad a grill, like every.
So in other words, he's already sending her a bunch of gifts through the mail. Now, let me just say this. Gifts, cool. Nothing wrong with gifts. But there's gifts and then there's buying somebody. Sending her gifts, like buying her something for herself, like maybe some perfume or a dress or maybe a gift for her son or something like that. All right, whatever. That's his prerogative. But when he's buying everything for her entire family, he's buying a grill for her father, he's buying stuff for her sister, he's buying, he's supporting her whole family. That kind of calls into question her motivations just a little bit.
Everything, like everything.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Lucky girl.
Yeah. Actually, I've spent more in shipping than what I'm sending.
Ed comes in here all the time, sending stuff internationally to his online girlfriend. I know he hasn't met her
It's
before. I think
international
it's
ATM.
a little crazy, but it must be love if he's willing to ship all these gifts. Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
I hope not.
What am I doing? I am nervous. I'm getting a lot of pushback from my friends, my mom, and
Following your heart.
I'm following my heart. People that I've told about Rosemary, they're very skeptical.
So people are skeptical about him and Rosemary. I'm skeptical too. And it's not just because she's younger. It's not just because she's cute. It's not just because Ed doesn't seem to have the most options here. It's because you're sending her gifts and money and you don't even really know her yet. And you're sending money to her family. You're not just sending like a gift to her. You're sending money to her family.
And some of them were very worried.
Hey, good luck.
Dude, I appreciate
Best of
it.
luck.
Thanks. But I have not been in a relationship since my divorce 28 years ago. All right. It's been difficult. It's been lonely. but I was too afraid to let anybody
I don't
get
like
that
to see
close
that
to me
either.
again. But with Rose, no one's ever touched my heart or owned my heart the way she does. So
I think it might be that
willing
too.
to take a chance at love again.
He says, nobody's touched my heart like Rose has. What is Rose telling him? Considering that they're not even in the same country and he's already sending her gifts. What do you think she could be telling him? Because it's not like he is not able to find women. He's a photographer. He's got some money. I'm sure he could find a woman if that's just all he's looking for. But I get the impression that he's looking for love. He's not just looking for a woman. He's looking for love. That's not a good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sad to see.
I just really, truly hope that it is real love.
Okay, so the next clip. So this reminds me of when Foodie and Salah were in the airport, like when they were going to meet each other.
Oh my God.
It's like dangling the bait, you know. And I'll tell you something. I think I told this story once before. I knew about someone. Doesn't matter who or how I knew them, but I knew somebody, a woman, and her husband was from another country. He was from a Slavic country. I'll just say that, and he was from Eastern Europe. And she moved him over here, got him a visa. They were married, and then eventually she agreed to help him move his cousin or his sister and her kids over here, something like that. And then after a few years, it turned out that actually his sister or his cousin or whatever was actually his wife. Did they delete the video?
How are you? How are you?
Fine.
Are you real?
Yes,
Oh my God, you're so real.
Did they delete the
You're
video?
so beautiful. Oh my God. I'm beyond elated. I'm so happy right now.
I'm so very happy to see you.
You promise?
I'm so excited.
You got to be kidding me.